Hey guys, it's Victoria here, and we're back with another video. So I hope you guys had an excellent week in trading. This last week, I closed over 1,100 pips, so I'm very excited. I still have stuff to work on. I'm still sharpening my sword, if you will. I'm still over here marking my charts, which I encourage everybody to continue to do. I'm not perfect in this, I had got stopped out earlier this week with, I can't remember the trade off top, but I had shared with the group about the rule where I normally would put my stop loss at the first leg. And for whatever reason, it was Wednesday. I think it was Wednesday. And there was news on Euro, and there was already a stop hunt that had occurred before I even got to sleep. So it kind of looked like this. But instead, of course, because of the news, it went and took me out because I put my stop loss at the previous stop hunt, where I should have put it on the first leg, like I had in, like I always tell people to do. So, even I have to remember to follow my own rules. All right. So today, guys, I am going to talk about patterns, chart patterns. And there's two of them here that are that lined up so beautifully and nicely that I'm going to print them and just put them in front of me so I can see them, because I do all this chart stuff, but it's good to have something like a whiteboard or something like that that you can look at. I've seen people with their posters where they have the different chart pattern, but I think it's just, I don't think that's enough, right? So the powerful patterns, like right now, you can see this is a head and shoulders. It's an inverted head and shoulders. We're on the daily time frame. And this is literally like a combination of probably 3 W's, right, put together. So this is powerful, guys. Very powerful. I mean, just watch out when that happens. I mean, oh my gosh. And the other one, and I think it's very interesting, one we're going to talk about today is also known as the, it's an M pattern. It looks like a slope. It looks, but they call it the bat, half a bat, right? So I'm going to show you AC, your Aussie CAD, and then Euro CAD. So let's look at this real quick. Okay. So this pattern here, when you first look at it, you can tell that it was already, look at this right here. On the daily, it gave you this head and this, not the head and shoulders, this half a bat type pattern on the daily. So again, another powerful pattern, right? On top of what we saw on Aussie CAD. So it's very important that you come to your higher time frames to see what prices is laying out for you and printing for you, so that you can have an idea of where you're going to go, right? So this has happened already, obviously, and your goal as a trader is to be able to identify these patterns in real time. Okay, so on my chart, my daily chart, I do have the supply and demand or support and resistance indicator. I only have it here on the daily. That's the only thing that I use it for. I think on the other lower time frames, it's just too much stuff on the chart, man. Oh, it's too much. The other thing that I'm going to add here is the quarter points, which I had taken them off here because the indices, it's just too much for the indices, but since we're looking at pairs, it's okay. Okay. So those are the things that I like to have on my chart. So we have the quarter points. We have now the dash already is putting down the order blocks for me. All I got to do to turn them on, you see that I click it off on the day, off, on, right? So if you don't see that this, one other term that I like to use, I was talking to my husband and he was like, it looks like the temple of doom, because I explained to him what it is. It's the trap. It's trapping all the long holders. So what happens is once they have enough retail traders trapped going long, they're going to reverse on you and go short, right? And there's no way out of this. Like if you're holding long thinking it's going to go back, no, it's not happening, right? You're trapped. So once you start to see this developing, you want to hurry up and get out of this trade if you're going long thinking this thing is going to go long right here. So let's go back to AC. Okay. And let's see what's happening here. So this one down here, of course, the head and shoulder pattern, as you can see, the order block is here, okay, and the supply and demand indicators here. So this, when you see this pattern developing like this, and it's a heads up, you can already see it here on this first leg. It is just amazing trade. You could just hold this thing, okay. So we're gonna go ahead and go down to, let's look at H4. Okay. And you can see nice and clear that this thing, this second leg W, right? If you weren't paying attention, you got trapped right there. Okay. So I like to identify, so H4 is where I will use for my directional bias when I'm going to enter my trades for the week. So I'm going to highlight this really quickly. Not that this hasn't already done it, but the order block is already here. We'll just pretend that it's not. So you could totally do your 4-hour order block there. And I want to know, let's see, what else did I want to know? I see that the peak is here, right? The peak has literally set the pace for the week. The beast indicator right here has confirmed it, okay? Let's look at H1 and then look at this, guys. I am going to turn off H4 so you can see the chart. So what do you see here? So remember, we highlighted this area as our H4 order block area, okay? And then we have the peak from H4. So my directional bias is going to be short. And what do I see coming to the market? Okay, we have this long, and you have your 3 pushes in here too, right? We have all that happened to trap the longs up here. So your job, right, is to wait for this pattern to fully develop, and then you'll start to see that this is now creating that dome to trap all the long holders, right? So, and did I tell y'all my husband was calling this the Temple of Doom? Doom, because you're trapped if you're going long, okay? So all you want to do is go short. That's your bias. When that thing shows up like this, it's game over for the whole week, literally. Yes, you're going to have these areas where price is going to go to the low and go back to the high because it has to. Okay. And what's really cool here is it went to the high 3 times. 1, 2, and 3. See, watch this. So you can use these reversal, which I like to use them. That's why I have them on my chart. This one shows like price retesting. And then this one, it's just a reversal. It's called the brilliant reversals. They're all reversals to me. Okay, so you look at that and you see how price came. We have 1, 2, 3. So this is game over right here, guys, on Thursday. Price comes back to the high and it retested the high again. You enter this thing and you load up. Okay, you load that this thing up, load it up, y'all. All right, so you can see that this was, so we have Asia, New York, I mean, London around here, and then New York. I mean, you could just, you see that happening, you just load up on this thing. Okay, that's all I have to say about that. All right, so then you would just go, right? Once you have your bias, right? You would, what do you do now? Let me highlight this here, right? Because if I was going to take, if I saw this trade, I would have taken this trade down here and I would have closed it here. Based off of that market structure there, I would have closed the trade here. I would have drawn my line and closed it. And then the reversal came here anyway, because what comes down must go back up to the high. And remember, as long as this thing isn't taking out the previous high, you're good. But we know that this pattern, once this thing is set in, that has set your course, especially for this type of pattern for the week. Okay. So you see, this is the Asia pair. So this normally happens, you know, these pairs, you can trade them Asian session, right? If you're choosing to do that, day trading that way. I'm still not much of a holder. I'm still, you know, I try to hold some pairs, but I don't hold them all. So I'm still working on that on my side. This is something that is my personality, that I'll float maybe one pair, right? Sometimes two, right? And I'll sit through the drawdown and all that jazz. I hate drawdown, you know, but we have to accept it. I can't hate it. You know, it's what it's for. I mean, you just accept it. But for me, I will most likely be holding on to one pair, and then I'll day trade the rest of them. Okay. So let's drop down. Let's drop down. Go to M15. Okay. Again, my peak is set in like gangster. Should be trying to drink coffee and talk at the same time. This thing is set in, guys. So even before all this happened, we're coming in for the day to trade, right? Let me just delete all that. Just delete it for now. I already know where I'm going. From here, what are we doing? We're looking to go short. I get to the market around here. I think it's 11 o'clock. Let me get to the market. We'll use 12 for the sake of the video. Okay. I get to the market here and I see what has already happened. I can see that we have the confirmations, and I already know that from the 1 hour that this darn temple has printed. So I could go ahead and do my thing here and redraw the order block. Okay, so I'm thinking, let's see, this was the last push. I'm just going to push it out for the day. Add this back on here. It doesn't really make a difference. Because it's already passed, right? So you can be able to see anything that's for the current day. So I'm going to use this as the test and retest. Okay. And it looks like it did what I needed it to do. All right. So if you want to, you can go to M30, because I like to look at M32 to, sometimes it helps me to see the pattern. Okay. And we can see it, right? So here's where it broke it, and then it went back and retested it. So this is the ideal entry. However, coming to the chart, guys, on H1, and you look at this, it's like you can already see this dome building, and you know you can just go ahead and get on it because you already know, right? You already know. So now we've gotten in. I got to the market at this time. I looked at this. I already showed you guys from the day all the way down to H1, and then now M15. I know this is my entry. So when am I going to exit? Oh, let me go back up here. We just talked about the exit. So the exit, I'm going to use market structure because I like this nice little stop hunt right there. That will be my target. And it just so happens it's right close to 180R. So you have an option here. You can just hold this thing and wait till it gets to the 180R, or you can just take your you can take your exit at that stop hunt. Like I'm just going to put it right there. You can exit right here. Let me drop down to M15. Okay. Did I pass it up? Sure did. That stop hunt right there, guys. Look at that. See that? That's your exit, guys. It's no joke. Look at the breadcrumbs. These are your breadcrumbs. And if you have this indicator here, this is already going to start to show up on your chart. It's not like it just magically shows up, like right at the end when it's about to reverse. It gives you a heads up to know that it's coming, right? And, some people always I look at it as a complaint, right? Well, maybe they're not complaining, but they're always like, I need an indicator that doesn't repaint. I'm like, there's no such thing. I mean, I don't think there is unless it's this one here. This does not repaint. And maybe it does. Okay, let me take that back. It does repaint because sometimes sometimes I'll watch this. I've seen it happen all the time in GU because when price is moving like crazy and there's news happening, price needs to settle. Okay, guys, that's y'all's problem. You don't want to wait on price to settle, and then you want an indicator that doesn't repaint. Sometimes on GU, it's going to show, oh, we're now going short. Oh, now it's a zero peak formation low. Oh, now it's a zero peak formation high. When price settles, that's when this thing is going to settle, guys. Okay, so use your eyes, be patient, and use the breadcrumbs, right? So this is my breadcrumb. This little dot is coming down, right? It's probably showing up somewhere around here. We have our Asia high right here. This is the high from the psychological levels, and then here's your low, okay? If you want to use that as your exit, use that as your exit. Or you can use market structure and then use this. It's your breadcrumbs. From here to there is 38. All the way here, 60. You can load up on this thing, okay? So that's it. That's how you do that thing. That's how I use the tools that are in front of me to help to guide me. All right, so now I'm going to let's go look at EA. Okay. Don't want to make this video too long, so we're going to go to EA. We've already seen from EA that big old drop that happened that prior week. And so the most current week, we're at the low, and now we're looking to go long, okay? Let's get this scroll thing down. So this is H4. What do you see down here now? It's like another Temple of Doom, half bat type pattern. This look that's developing here, right? Let's go to H1. So we already know this is the beginning of the week, guys. I believe this is it. Where her when was the week's? It was the 6th. Okay. It's the beginning of the week. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to identify this right here. We're looking to go long. We have this pattern that is developing. Okay. That. And I get to the charts around this time. Actually, there's more around here. I should say that. And I see that we're at the low. We have the psychological lines also at the low. Okay, Asia high, Asia low. We have the peak on H4, H1. The beast is already check, check, check. And we have this, it's a W, right? It's definitely a W. It's almost looking like a half bat, but that's power right there, okay? All right, so we're looking to go long, okay? Let's go to wherever you're gonna take your entry. So you come to the chart on, and you look at M15, and this, if this isn't clear as day, I don't know what is. Take the second leg. See, the first leg here was a trap. Trap, guys. This was a trap for you short holders. Trappity trap trap. We're not waiting for this thing to pull back and keep going down. No, we're not. I'm pretty sure 3 pushes has already happened, and this trap is just waiting to capture all you short holders and just drag you in the mud for the week. So you want to get out of that trade because we're not going short anymore. We're long. So if I was going to follow the rules of the order block, that's that last, you see that bull candle right there? I'm going to drop that there. This is when I get to the chart. What do I see? I see fire. Oh God, I love it when I see this. It's the retest of the order block. Okay, and what do we have here? Daily high and low. And then I got this one right here. That's beautiful too. This comes with this indicator. So if you have the trading journal, you will have this indicator. This one comes for everybody. This brilliant reversal indicator, everybody has that. This is the new peak indicator, the pips on fire indicator. I had it redone just so you can actually read what it's saying, okay? Everybody has access to the Asia box, okay? Right there, these dashes, it's the Asia box. Everybody has access to the quarter points, this dotted line here. The other thing that I'm not showing on this, but on the other one, I do show however many pips were in the Asia box, because based on, we have 183 pips here, right? So if, that's why I like trading pairs that have high pips, because if all the pips or half of them are taken up, or maybe a little bit more than half are taking up during Asia, then it means that the pattern may not likely work out, or there might not be very much pips for you in New York. And if that's when you trade, then it makes it for a very long day, right? So back to this fire right here, okay? I'm gonna clear this out. So you could have entered this market right here. And let's jump to M30 because you guys know I like that. Super clear, right? So you see this powerful pattern. This is where you can swing this one, right? And look at where your area where you're going to exit. You have a couple of options. You can just draw it out, right? I mean, this probably ain't happened yet, but if you give yourself room on the chart, like just moving this little thing here, give yourself room, then you can just draw that out, right? Because there's obviously it's going to be blank, right? When you're trying to do this initially. So your initial target can be there. If you got in earlier, right? Because me showing up here, I can go ahead and just get in, right? I don't need to wait for nothing else. But we're going to assume this is where you got in. And your exit can be, need to do that. Oops, what just happened here? Let's reset this thing. Sorry, guys. Back to M15. Let's go back. Oh, what do you see? Oh, we already talked about the daily high. It's a good area here. I think I saw that on M30. So I'd like to look at those higher time frames. So you have the opportunity here for exit. Okay. And then you have your opportunity up here. And it's right with this price point, 1.50. Let's go back to M30. See if we can see a better clear picture, and we do. Okay. And look, it went right there. It went there anyway, if that was going to be your exit. So from here to here, you're looking about 127 pips, 300 some odd pips. And the ADR is 549. Oof, it's a lot of pips. That's why I like these type of pairs, right? So that's it, guys. That is it, right? So remember, it has to come back down, create another low for it to go back up. Okay. Wednesday is reversal. So we have this trend shift. Oh yeah, this is another thing that comes with the journal. You have the trend shift indicator there. And when you see that, especially on a Wednesday, you know, markets are going to reverse the heads up. So the market is going to shift. Okay. So you have this to let you know. And then look, come to the market. After this push is done, you see you're at the high. Perhaps that is your last trade for that day because now you're at the high, right? And these things are popping up, kind of giving you a heads up that we're going to be short the next day. So you can go ahead and you can draw your order block. So the next day comes, you're waiting for prices to go short. So I would probably use, because the indicator popped up here, you can see the red behind the yellow. This is where I would draw it, because this is the last bearish candle. So what do we have? What do we have here, guys? 1, 2. This is fire. 3. and then you just load up on this. Okay. So I don't know what to say, right? It's pretty nifty. Okay. Clear this. So where's your exit, right? So you're at the higher time frame and you want to identify where to get out. Look at this, these stop hunts here. These are nice. Okay. You can use that as your exit. Right there. Okay. And you have a H1, it shows you the stop hunt and the railroad track. So yeah, it's beautiful. Let's go back to M30, whichever one you choose, M30, M15, M5, whatever you like. Retest to the order block is done. And we enter. It's 189 some odd pips. It's not bad, guys. And you know, when you do this and you're getting these pairs that have these high pips, and maybe even the lower ones like EU and UJ, you know, they're all fine. But when you're doing this and you're able to identify these really strong patterns, and you can see when prices hit the high and the low 3 times, and you execute those trades just like that, you don't have to trade every day. You know what I mean? You don't have to. I mean, you can if you want, but these things don't show up all the time, but you're busy looking at, their opportunities are there, you know, maybe on different pairs or whatnot, but the days that they do show up and you're available to take the trades, then it helps you to not trade that much, right? And to really go in and be comfortable and confident and just execute the trades that are the most highly profitable trades for you, and you're done. Okay. So I hope you guys got some value from this video. Everything that I talked about, you know, with the journal, you get all those extra little freebies. Just really appreciate your support with that. And be sure to like, comment, share, hit the notification button, and we see you guys in the next video. Ciao.